Hey, I'm Graham Simmons. Art is cool, but I can't do it. I can do robots, so I'm gonna make a robot do art for me. So this bot needs two main parts. The first part is the art part. This part generates the art and then saves it as an image. That image is then sent over to the second part. The second part takes that image and uploads it to the cloud, where it can sit on places like Instagram and Twitter for people to look at. So the bot will be programmed using two main languages. The first language is JavaScript. JavaScript is usually good for graphical things, like creating art and creating websites. The second language is Python. Python is good for automation tasks, like I'm doing here. Okay, so for this project, I'm going to be using a library called P5.js. It's basically used for creating art and graphics and things like that, which is exactly what I'll be using it for, so it's perfect for my use case. So what I have right now is this simple program that generates these shapes, and these shapes, it's going to be one of the end elements that will come together to be put on a larger canvas and be the end product. So right now, I'm planning on having some of the elements being like circles, hexagons, these shapes that are you're seeing right now, and that's going to come together to be in the end product. I'm probably going to add some more elements just to spice things up a little and make it more interesting, but that's the general idea. I've got some more work to do, so I'll see you soon. Canvas is now 1000 by 1000 pixels. I've added some basic Perlin noise backgrounds, nothing too interesting, just to keep it from being too dull. The elements now generate randomly over the entire canvas at a different size and a different rotation, so it's a pretty different result each time you regenerate. There's been some pretty big bugs I ran into, the main one being that the star snowflake shape generates invisibly so you can't actually see it. Now, this is a pretty big problem, but I'm not really in the mood to fix any bugs right now, so I'm just gonna move on, and that's a problem for future me to fix. Okay, so I've redesigned the page the actual P5 sketch sits on, so it actually looks decent now instead of just being the canvas in the top left corner. The big bug I was talking about earlier with the invisible snowflakes, it's pretty much gone now. I still don't know what the problem was, but it seems to have gone away now that I increased the generation time from 10 frames to 60 frames. So that's better now. I also added a generation screen so you can see how long it takes until the generation is done, and it also looks pretty good, so that's done too. Okay, so before I show you the end product, let me explain how this whole finished thing is going to work. So the P5 canvas uses random seed and noise seed to get a consistent result based on a single number that's inputted, which is called the seed. So if you put in the same seed, it will output the same result each time. So what I've done is set the website to check if there's a seed stored in the URL. If there is, it'll take that seed and set that as the whole seed for the project. Otherwise, it'll just generate a random seed and use that one instead. So the website that the P5 canvas is on has an input where you can go to the URL of any seed that you input and see that art for yourself. So the website looks much better now. I completely redesigned it. There will be a link in the description if you want to check it out yourself. So basically what the website does is it will generate the art, and then if you click on that art, it will begin to download it, which leads me to the second part of this whole process. Okay, so for the actual automated bot portion of this project, I'm using Python and a browser automation tool called Selenium. Selenium is basically an interface between the code and a browser, so I can use Python to control the actions that the browser takes, like how I would click around a web page. The Python script opens the web page with the canvas on it, it navigates the actual canvas divider, and then it clicks on that to begin the download. My original plan was to have the script post to both Twitter and Instagram, the two largest image platforms that made sense for me to post on. So the Twitter side of things was pretty easy. I just applied for a developer account and bing bang boom, easy peasy, Twitter API access. So the Twitter bot works great. It posts every 4 hours, flawlessly. The Instagram bot, it does not. From what I understand, Instagram began cracking down on bot use over 2020 and made their previous API private. So, as far as I can tell, Instagram requires you to be a member of the Facebook Developer Program to access their API. So why not just apply for a Facebook Developer account, you ask? Well, I did that, and they said no. So I went on GitHub and tried to find some private APIs, but they said nah. Shadow ban. So now the account's shadow banned. So sadly, the bot will only actually regularly post to Twitter, and I'll have to manually post the best ones to Instagram. Back to the Python script. I've used crontab to schedule it to run every 4 hours. So it will open the web page, it'll wait for the image to generate, and then it simulates a click on the canvas to download it. The image downloads as a PNG with the seed in the name, and then the script takes that image and it goes to Twitter and posts that image with the caption of Donum Ex Machina and then the index posted is and the seed. So I'm calling this project Astrum Machina, which means star machine. The caption begins with Donum Ex Machina, which is a gift from the machine. I'm not really sure why I named it that, but it fits with the theme and it sounds pretty cool. That's pretty much it. You can check out Astrum Machina at the links in the description and on Twitter and Instagram at Astrum Machina. Instagram, you better give me that API access, Charlotte.